It is episode 177. Welcome into the Benches Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. Yeah, I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants, who are a good spring training baseball team.
And I'm Dave, representing the side of the Dodgers, who they're ready to go, man. We got, 12 days before they play in Japan, or they go to Japan, or whatever it is. So, yeah. Get it going.
You can just say that they're a bad spring training team.
But that's not true, because they've rattled off, 8 wins in a row?
Did they?
I think so. They started off pretty bad, and the last game that I saw, they said that they had won 6 or something like that. 6, 7, something. I don't remember. But
are you making things up? I feel like are you making shit up at this moment?
I could be. Honestly, I could be, because after a fifth inning or whatever it is, you're not paying attention. So
let's pull up the receipts. Oh, they're 9-6. But they're actually playing right now.
Yeah, they're playing the Mariners.
Yeah, they're playing the Mariners, right now,
which is a good transition there. Did you hear the comments? Did you hear the comments of Justin Turner? From Justin Turner.
Justin Turner talking. Both of his former. This is the Justin Turner Bowl of spring training games. But yes, I heard his comments. They were great comments. I love the fact that he said, even if they just re-signed me, I would still be like, what the hell are we doing here? Like that's actually a pretty good line.
The self-awareness, yeah, pretty good there.
Yeah.
What'd you think? Did you agree with him? Did you?
I don't think there's anybody on planet Earth who doesn't agree with him, except for maybe Mariners ownership. I mean, their rotation is the best in baseball. It's pretty obvious. And they're literally two pieces. They're one win away from a wild card spot. I don't know what other incentive there is to just get a little bit better. I mean, you can get carried by that rotation. You just need a little bit of offense. You got Randy Arozarena. You got Cal Raleigh. You got some okay pieces. But it's if you would have just signed Pete Alonso, or you would have gotten maybe Anthony Santander, that would catapult you into maybe the favorites to win the AL West right now.
Yeah, exactly. Especially the Astros lost a couple pieces. The Angels are the Angels.
Right.
And, you got the Rangers, who is probably the main competition there, but you have the pitching to compete with anybody. All you need is a couple bats. You got J-Rod there, but you need some bats surrounding him. What do they get? Polanco? Was that their biggest bat? Just re-signing him?
Re-signing Polanco and saying, no, but it's cool, guys. He's healthy this year. So think about that.
I mean, you can see around the league, and I get it. The Dodgers are signing players, and it's to the extreme for some people. But then you have teams that, they have a shot, and they're just sitting on their ass, not doing anything. It's got to piss people off. It's got to. And, I guess, I don't know. I'd be pissed off if I was a fan of one of those teams that just refuses to spend.
Well, the difference, right? I know we say this all the time. You should be people should be more upset that teams aren't spending than the Dodgers are spending. But there's an obvious difference. One affects the outcome of your team and one doesn't. If the Pirates should spend money because they have a great rotation. The Mariners should spend because they have a great rotation. But at the end of the day, if they did, that would make it harder for every other team to make the playoffs, especially the ones on the fringe. So it doesn't upset people as much because it doesn't really affect their daily lives into where when teams like the Dodgers spend, it's dude, what are we doing here? What the hell?
Which makes no sense, because if you're not in the division, you could easily be let's not worry about the Dodgers. Worry about every single other team that we have to beat to get into the playoffs. Then whatever happens in the playoffs happens in the playoffs. But I'm talking about other teams that are not, because the NL West, they usually spend. We've seen the last couple of years, them be the ones that are spending. So you got Corbin Burns, you had Bogarts be there. Like I know I'm missing a bunch of names, but
Right.
like Blake Snell last year, like the NL West
Willie Adames.
usually spends. Yeah, usually spends. I'm talking about the other divisions that just seem to. It's like the top teams, and then nobody else spends anything because they're just fine with like mediocrity because everybody else is fine with it.
I will definitely argue the Giants should spend more, but at the same time, they're usually like top 8 to 5 of payroll. They could be doing more. Don't get me wrong. I'm not defending that at all. But if you're your 3 and 4 team being the Arizona Diamondbacks or the Padres and the Giants are spending that much. I mean, you look at any other division in baseball, maybe the NL East, because obviously the Mets, Phillies spend. Do the Nationals? They did spend for a bit, but I'm not sure if you can count them as big spenders. The Braves, do you count the Braves as spenders?
They're very unique in the way they spend. They're very smart about it. Like they'll lock them up early so they don't have to pay as much. They'll make the trades. So they're well run, but it's a different kind of spending for them for sure. But it's like they stay competitive. And that's probably the main thing. Like they stay competitive. Most of those teams do. But there's a lot that are just fine with like, we'll just stay here because nobody else is doing anything either. So why spend? Why do we have to?
Right. And sorry, everyone,
as long as we're good enough.
I gotta continually cough into my arm every once in a while. I'm not sure if it's really
just
hearable.
Just don't get me sick through the screen, and we'll be all right.
Maybe I will. Maybe I will get sick through the screen, and then you'll go back to having a shitty spring training team. So, but yes, please excuse it. Thank you to everyone hanging out. Always Dan C. Thanks for hanging out. Normally is back. What's going on? Thank you guys for hanging out. Yes. So Braves, I don't know. Payroll wise, they're not that high, but technically they spend because they, I don't know. That's on the fringe, but at the same time, those are the top 2 divisions I think that spend. I mean, you even go to the maybe NL East because Yankees obviously spend. The Red Sox have been spending a little bit lately, and the Blue Jays want to spend.
Yeah. I mean, I just think that the Mariners are in a unique spot where like they're already competing, sure, but like you're a fringe team, and if you add a couple bats, there was bats out there.
You're like right there.
Like you always seem to be a couple games out, and you always get brokenhearted because you lose, or you don't make the playoffs by a couple games, or whatever it is. I don't know. That's one of the that's frustrating. You'd want them to go out and get a bat or something to help out, but whatever. It is what it is.
And there was.
I just wonder what the solution is once they get to the negotiation table to make these owners spend. Because you look at the A's, and all of a sudden, like they hadn't spent at all. Now that there's a stadium going to be involved and all this other stuff involved, now they're giving contract extension to all their guys. They're signing other guys to 2-year, whatever it is, but they're spending.
Is that the reason though, or do you think it's the grievance thing?
Well, whatever it is that's making them spend, they're spending, which means they could have always spent. So now that there's a reason to, or there's something, lighting a fire under their ass, now they're doing it. So I wonder what that is for every other club. What can they do to make that happen? But
they could just open.
Always spending.
Open the books. I mean, that's a weird thing that I think we've already touched on that we're not getting a lot of information on, but it's kind of seeming like a work stoppage is going to happen this next CBA, which is
after the Dodgers have gone back to back, or is it after that? After they gone for the three-peat.
And they would be trying. What do you mean?
They'd be going for their third consecutive. How do they? When the stoppage? When is this going to go on?
After I believe is it after the 2025 or after 2026? So we might be getting 1 more year or 2 more years.
Okay. Either way. All right.
No, but what are you talking about?
That's definitely going to get
because you spend the most doesn't mean you said that it wasn't different. You said if you were saying we're not going to win the World Series this year. That's what you were telling me.
Man, but you're sick, so I want to make you feel worse. So I want you to think about three-peats and
Okay.
yeah, it's fine.
All right, fine.
Anyways.
We'll go there. But speaking about the Blue Jays wanting to spend, it turns out they really want to overpay for players, except for if it's Vladimir Guerrero Jr. A report came out saying that Vladimir offered the Blue Jays, "Hey, I'll re-sign for 15 years," and it was under 600 million. So I'm imagining he went for 400. I mean, sorry,
It was a little under
400,
6,
sorry.
right? I mean, I thought it
40
was
million a year. So 40 million. Did the actual number come out?
I don't think so. I just don't remember how much
Okay,
it was.
but it said it was under. So let's say it's 575 divided by 15. We're looking at like 38 mil a year. Do you think that he's worth it? Do you think he'll get that in free agency?
No,
575?
there's no way.
You don't think so? The way that Juan Soto just got paid?
So he's 25, right?
No, he's
15 puts him-
26.
No, he's 25.
Who is?
Vladdy.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying was Juan Soto 25. I thought you were saying
Yeah.
Juan Soto's free agency was 25. No, this is Juan Soto's age 20. Like he's going to be 26 this year. So is Vladdy 25 this year? I believe so. So I think he's in the same boat.
Yeah. No, I looked it up. He's
I will
25.
fact check you. What's that? You looked
I
it
looked
up?
it up. Yeah.
Okay,
So he's 25, and he'll be.
Correct.
He would have been 40 at the end of that contract.
Well, same thing
Right?
with Soto.
No. I'm just trying to get the facts. Like he'd be 40 at the end of that contract, right?
Yes.
But we'd have to find out how much he's getting. I don't know if he's worth that. Do you consider him like one of those guys at the top, very top? To you think so?
For hitting, yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm underrating his defense a little bit, but is his defense like a thing? I'll do the baseball savant research while we discuss, but I mean Juan Soto.
We're just giving out money at this point everywhere. Like I just don't think he's you know what I mean?
Listen, the Dodger guy can't be talking about giving out money here. Okay.
I'm just saying that the
You can't
contracts
be the
are
one saying it.
outrageous, and you're like, well, let's just give it to this guy. Yeah, he had a good. Yeah, he's good. No, I don't think he's worth that. Especially the Blue Jays who are willing to overpay for almost everybody. If they don't think it's good, then
Really?
there's something there.
So
I mean,
you're
they've been trying to
telling me-
overpay for every free agent on the market, and they haven't been able to. So, I mean, that's interesting that they wouldn't overpay for him.
Yes, but maybe they're thinking we already have him, and we're like, I don't know, dude. He had a really good year last year. He's always hitting 30 home runs. OPS is always. Jeez, let's see. Red. Fielding. Okay, outs above average he's below average. He's in the 3rd percentile, which is not good. You could make that same argument for Juan Soto not being a good outfielder.
Yeah, and that deal is not going to be great either. Like it'll be good for but a couple of years. But once he has to be the DH, then
Well, it's 760 though. He's getting 760, and Vladimir's just looking for 575. Looking for a whole $100 million less. Oh, sorry, $200 million less.
I mean, I wouldn't give it to him. You want to give it to him, you go ahead, but I wouldn't give it to him.
The Giants won't do it because Bryce Eldridge.
I mean, if you want to pay that much for a DH, you go right ahead.
No, I don't. It says that his age 25. Do you know when his birthday is?
Yes, March 16th.
Oh, so he's about to turn 26.
Yes.
So he's going to be a free agent technically at 27. Yeah, hell no. Yeah, hell no.
Yeah, you don't make that. I don't think he's worth all that. I mean,
yeah, hell no. Yeah, hell no. I take that back a little bit. A lot of it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why the Blue Jays didn't agree with it either. So, I mean, I wonder who pays him, but I don't think he's going to get that.
Yeah. Oh man, 27. Because here's the thing, Juan Soto's getting 15 years because he's 26. So it's not like you can even ask for 14 years next year because you're overpaying because he's 26. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
almost like the most I think he's going to get is like 13 years.
Yeah. I don't know who pays him. The Yankees?
I don't know. I think he gets close to 500 milli then.
You think so? I don't know.
Let's see. 500 million divided by
what kind of year he has
13 years. 38. Let's say, hold on. 13 times, let's say he makes, think 35 is too much for him?
No.
He's getting so much of his prime.
We're talking about Vladdy here, right? We weren't talking about. Yeah.
What else are we talking about?
I don't know. We were intertwining Juan Soto and him. So,
would you give him 35? If Juan Soto got 50 million a year, I think we could get. Yeah, let's give it to him. Let's give him 35.
So
that's 455.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm paying that much for Vladdy. Maybe I don't know. It's just me,
years,
though.
What does that put him at 13 years? 27. Oh, that puts him at 40 still.
Puts him at 40. So you're taking away 2. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think he's still. I
think it's rough towards the end of that contract, dude. I think it's
of course.
And so I don't like it. I wouldn't do it, but
all contracts are going to look bad at the end, except for like the Max Scherzer contract. And I don't know what other massive contract is look good at the end, but that's the whole point. You're paying so much for their prime that you're overpaying, and you're kind of going to set them off to the sunset where you got to kind of Albert Pujols him the last couple of years, maybe just ship him off, let him do his little swan song to figure it out somewhere else. So I don't know.
Yeah, I guess I wouldn't do it. So we'll see where he goes, but if his own team wouldn't do it.
All right. Enough of Vladdy time. I'm sure we're gonna have so much.
Let's stay on the AL East
talk later. Yeah, let's stay in the AL East. You're right.
Yeah, real quick.
What other news we got in the AL East? There,
I think it just came out a little while ago that Garrett Cole is getting testing done on his elbow, and that's a team that's already missing Luis Hill. So that's two big pieces of the rotation that might be out for a while. So
I think it's a little bit of an understatement. That's like a good thing they didn't trade Marcus Stroman, huh?
Well, yeah, great.
Marcus Stroman's still good. I don't know what kind of disrespectful stuff is going on, and where everyone hates Marcus Stroman now, and no one wants to give. Like, he is worth what he's getting paid right now.
I guess. I always thought he was a bit of a head case.
Yeah, there's that. That's been rumored. That's true.
So, and it seems to be a thing everywhere he's about to leave. So, this guy was on the playoff roster and he didn't even see an inning, which is crazy. But whatever. But yeah, the Garrett Cole news, that's crazy, man. And the fact that he opted out to try and get more money. Can you imagine had they given him more money and then this happens?
Who's going to give him more money?
Well, he tried to opt out, and then they had the whole thing. Yeah, he opted out, and then they're like, "Oh no, it's I'll just go back to the original deal because the Yankees."
Oh, yes, I thought.
They weren't gonna
for some reason.
Yeah, and they weren't gonna do the deal or whatever it was, but like that would have looked worse had they renegotiated and given him more money.
That's the worst because you don't know. I think, if I'm not mistaken, didn't they have the same issue with him last year?
He did have issues, and I don't think he had anything done, right? He just had a rest as well.
Yeah, because he pitched all year, so
yeah. That's a team already missing Stanton and Hill, like we said. So 3 huge pieces there, man. That's yeah. We'll see what they do, man. Like at least they have Fried. They got Fried and Rodon and
Fried, Rodon, and who else? Stroman.
Stroman, because they traded Cortez.
That's right.
They traded Cortez away, so I mean that's looking rough. So you're gonna have to
Well, it looks like
outslug everybody.
maybe they're not going to have, the chance to be classy and not talk shit about the Dodgers.
They're the Yankees. They should just go out and buy someone. So, but yeah, rough news for the Yankees, man. That's tough. That's a tough one.
That is tough. And I think that, I mean, this always happens in spring training. Someone always goes down. I mean, it's happened, I think, to both of us multiple times. I mean, Madison Bumgarner's opening day starting streak got broken because he come back or broke his hand. So like that is so unforeseen and so like you can't prepare for that. Like, I don't know. Do you think that they make a trade? Do they trade with the team that talked a bunch of shit about him? Do they call the Dodgers? Do they call the Giants and see what's up with
I have a perfect one for you.
What's up? Tell me.
They're the Yankees. They make splashy.
They are the Yankees.
They have some young pieces down there that maybe they're willing to trade, maybe not. But there's a team in Miami who is always looking to trade away good pieces for some reason or another. Sandy Alcantara. The guy is going to be traded at some point. They get Sandy Alcantara to hold off until Garrett Cole maybe comes back. That's a pretty good fill in there. I don't know if it happens, whatever, but like that's a pretty good deal, I think. Anybody looking for pitching, probably gonna have to overpay, but I mean that's a number one right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think anyone can trade some of their farm system to get like a Sandy Alcantara, but what are they willing to do? Are they willing to go that far in? I mean,
well, you were just in the World Series, dude. This isn't the time to like back off. You know what I mean?
That's true.
If at any point you had to, and also the Orioles, dude, they just lost Grayson Rodriguez. Yeah, Grayson Rodriguez. He's lost.
Really?
Too, so yeah,
he's out for the year.
I don't know if he's out for the year, but I did see that he was injured. So
okay.
Yeah,
maybe precautionary.
So that's another team that should. They lost Corbin Burns. They've got that 40-year-old from Japan as their big get. So, I mean, that's another team that could also trade for that guy too. So
I know everyone's talking shit about Justin Verlander and how the Giants are just oh my gosh, he's 42 years old. So is Charlie Morton, and he keeps on getting $15 million deals. And I don't have Justin Verlander than Charlie Morton, his old ass.
I guess. I don't know. I mean, you're gonna probably walk those words back when Verlander, is on the IL or something.
He will. I mean, here's the thing. He is 40. He's going to spend some time in the IL, but that's why you have all the depth. That's why you got Landon Root. That's why you got Kyle Harrison. That's why you got Hayden Birdsong. You got 3 guys for one spot. So you got Keaton Wynn, who killed it last year.
I don't know how we keep like bringing up Justin Verlander just to bring him up. All right, I get it. He's old.
Just to bring it up. It's Justin Verlander. He's one of the best pitchers ever.
Why don't we talk about a young pitcher? A guy just starting his career. How about we talk about that?
Who's that? What
Roki
trash-ass name are you about to say? What trash-ass name are you about to say right now?
Everybody was like up in arms and having a good time because he gave up a home run to some random White Sox hitter in the backfield and all that.
DFA him.
But he comes out against the Reds. 5 strikeouts, looks pretty amazing. Splitter looks awesome. Yeah, man, that kid looks special. I mean, it's the whole time that the Dodgers were were interested in getting him and all this. I've always been kind of like, well, he has to adjust and like I don't want to set my expectations high or anything. But then you watch them pitch and you're like, how can you not be excited? Like your mind goes wild because you're like, damn, like this guy looks really, really good. So, I mean, we'll see. But I mean that he looked filthy, man. That splitter was just as advertised.
Yeah. I mean, here's one that do you think Roki Sasaki is the most talented Japanese pitcher ever? Ever?
Well, you can't say that. I mean, we haven't seen what
You-
he's done yet. You know what I
Listen,
mean?
you
Like,
got to take a stand right now, Dave. You're in or you're out. Stop getting on the
this
fence.
is like Travis Hunter saying he's better than Shohei Ohtani when
He
like
is.
he hasn't played a single pro snap yet, and he's already saying it's tougher than him. Like,
He's better than
come
him.
on, guy. First do something in in the pro league, and then we can talk. So Sasaki, yeah, I'm excited.
What does he do?
Does he play cornerback?
I don't know.
Cornerback, and he plays wide receiver.
Quarterback and wide receiver?
Cornerback.
That's what I'm saying. Cornerback and wide receiver?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's
I know.
literally the same thing on both sides, on one side or the other. You know, they're pretty similar. Is what I'm saying. It's not like you're pitching and hitting, which is two completely different things.
If he was a
quarterback
and
playing defense,
yes,
yeah, that's completely different. He's
Right.
in charge of the whole game. He's got a, and then he's playing defense after he scores. Yeah, that's completely different. Then we'll be like, all right, maybe there's something to it. But even then, like, dude, do it in the hardest league in the NFL, and then we'll see. Then you can talk your shit.
Well, who was this again? His name was Travis Hunter.
Yes.
I don't know anything. I don't watch football. I don't care about football. I'm gonna be honest with you. So,
I'm so glad you're a Giants fan and not a Dodgers fan. I don't have to associate. I
don't care about football. I
don't
know what the kid's name is. I'm sorry, but Travis Hunter. Has Travis Hunter ever joined a super team and didn't want to compete with the rest of the league? Has he ever done that?
I don't know, man. He would
well, then he's probably better than Shohei
right?
Ohtani. He's probably better than Shohei Ohtani because Shohei Ohtani doesn't want to compete. So
the lengths you go to discredit Shohei Ohtani is ridiculous.
And I will continue to do it forever.
Did you happen to see the odds this year for the MVP?
No.
So I mean, they're ridiculous. It doesn't matter.
I feel like it's Shohei's until
it was Juan Soto at number 1, and then Shohei, and then so on and so on. Yeah. And my thing is, Juan Soto just made an error a couple nights ago, which was funny, at a ball hit right to him. Right. And last year, all I heard was, well, Shohei doesn't play defense. So there's no way he can win the MVP. He has to be so extraordinarily better with the bat to win the MVP, which he was.
Yes.
But now that he's going to pitch and hit, I'm sorry, but if he does it as well as he's done it before, no one's sniffing the MVP for the next couple of years.
Right.
And then so to put Juan Soto at number 1, that's ridiculous.
I had an argument for. Well, here's the thing. I got to step away from this argument because I hate Shohei now. But I had an argument when he was on the Angels. It was like, until he's not an all-star level in both, I think he gets the MVP every year. If he is like, he doesn't have to be the top, which he's been. If he's like the bottom level, all-star level, like the guys who barely squeak in on both sides of the ball, I think he wins MVP until he's not.
Yep.
But I got to figure out a mental gymnastics way to discredit that when it happens. So we'll get there. But I have to know who I'm arguing for before I argue for him. You know what I mean? When Willie Adames, all of a sudden hits 40 home runs and gets Gold Glove defense, I gotta make that connection somehow.
I mean, Soto didn't win the MVP with Judge hitting behind him. So how's he going to win it with, who is it? Vientos hitting behind him or whoever it is? Like, all right.
Who was the MVP of the AL last year?
Judge, right?
Was it Judge? I feel like we should know.
No, it was Judge.
It was a Judge.
I'm pretty sure it was Judge because I'm pretty sure I edited a picture of him dropping the ball on the.
You do that for everything with Aaron Judge, so you can't really say that.
Hey, I'm gonna do it forever until next postseason. So that joke will never stop being funny to me.
I guess. Yes, it was Aaron.
But yeah. So, anyways, are you ready to walk back your comments on Roki Sasaki after watching him pitch?
What did I say?
You said he's a bust. He's a buster. He's never gonna amount to anything. You said a bunch of crap.
I think I'll double down. Actually, I will raise you and say that he did all of his best stuff for spring training, and he's gonna get hammered day one in Japan. He's gonna get hammered start two in LA. He's gonna get hammered start three wherever it's at, and he's trash, dude.
We'll see. We'll see.
It's gonna
Supposedly,
happen.
he's still in. He's still supposed to pitch game 2 of the Tokyo series, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's some mixed messages because before they said that they didn't really know who. They were still looking at stuff, and then now it's like, well, he's still on track to be the number 2. So we'll see. Maybe that outing helped out a little bit.
It is crazy though, right? That Shohei Ohtani, like he makes a spring debut, and it's just like that's news. Like he shows up for work, and he just that's news. That's like some next level. Like the popularity that he has is just so crazy that it's like almost like national sports news that he just finally started playing.
And when they go back to Japan, he's not gonna be able to do anything, or his teammates are not gonna be able to move around in the locker room with like the amount of media that's probably gonna be there. It's gonna be crazy, man. But yeah. And of course, because it's Shohei, he's such a myth, such a legend. He homers in his first at bat in spring training, like it's nothing, like you know.
So did Bryce Eldridge. All right, we don't.
Anyways, but
a good deal.
Yeah, whatever.
In other Dodger news, right? Tell me how Dave Roberts goes from universally being hated even after 2020 and turned around an entire fan base's opinion of him in one season.
I don't think it's one season.
I think it's one season.
No, I think the last couple years helped. I think
people were calling for his head for the last couple years.
Oh, for sure. I've called for his head numerous times. But, I mean, I think slowly started to turn onto the other side and be on his side, I guess.
Okay.
Only because you see around the league and you see how many, like, clubhouses are lost at certain points, right? And there's either drama or there's something. And he's handled that pretty beautifully here. Like, there doesn't ever seem to be drama or anything that like kind of derails the team. Even with the whole Ohtani thing, with the Bauer thing, like they didn't really miss a beat. Like they were still pretty good, and there's got to be something set for that, right? And more importantly,
he has a super team though. I mean, let's calm it down a little bit.
Sure, but like he has to. That's so many attitudes, you know, so many superstars. You got to handle all that. Like. You can't just put anybody in there and expect them to be great.
No, I'm not saying that, but the decisions are a lot. Decision part is probably not that hard.
No, but my thing always was with him was the bullpen. I'm like he can't fix the lineup, like the line. He can't make them hit. We saw that in 2022. Like he managed the bullpen pretty well. There were some spots that I didn't like, but like you can't make your superstars hit, and if they don't hit, like you're screwed. This last year, I thought he ran it to perfection. The bullpen. Maybe there was a couple, maybe one move that I didn't like. I don't remember what it was, but even then, like it made sense. Like Nack starting, everybody's like, "Why is he starting?" Blah blah blah. Like, look, now we're down, but whatever. We lost the game, but it served for the rest of the series. Like it was set up perfectly, and I think you got to give him his flowers, man. Like he managed his ass off.
Do you think he's kind of untouchable at this moment?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. I think the players love him so much that they still listen to him. They still, listen to his message or whatever. And the fact that he's got the respect of Mookie, Freddie, and those guys are huge in the clubhouse. So you got them, then everybody else falls in line. So I think he deserves it, man. I think he deserves it. I think he's going to be with the team. I don't know how long it's going to be, but I would assume it would be at least until Shohei is gone. Something that kind of, he says he wants to be here. So maybe 6-7 years, something like that. I don't know, but yeah, man, I think he deserves it, and I know I've always said like I haven't liked them or whatever, or haven't agreed with a bunch of stuff, but you know, I'm entitled to change my mind after a couple of postseasons and seeing what he.
I reserve the right to change my opinion. I just realized you had a backwards hat, and I was like, no, maybe I shouldn't be like you. Let me turn it back around. Sorry. Yeah, it was so funny to me. I just feel like Dave Roberts kind of at sometimes got a lot of flack that he didn't deserve. But he did. He made a lot of bad decisions. He got a lot of. I mean, every Dodger fan that I ever talked to, from a year ago to when he was hired, is just he's the problem. This is the problem. This is the worst thing ever. And then in 1 year, all of a sudden, he's just turned into the second coming of Bruce Bochy. Like, this is.
Well, here's the thing. He used to how we used to see it is that he would manage with his heart sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, his guys, he wanted to give them the moment. Kershaw coming in to relieve in the 7th inning of a baseball game when you have other relievers never made any sense, right?
Are you sure about that?
Yes. And even if he gave you 1 inning, that should have been it. We lost that 2019 series, and I blame Roberts, right? Like, those decisions was dumb. Kenley Jansen, sometimes he was at fault for, like, trying to give him his moment or whatever it was. He's almost loyal to a fault, and that was my thing with him. But last year, he just like, no, we're going to put the guy that's best in the spot, and it doesn't matter who it is. Freddie, you need to sit down because you're not playing well. Like, we'll find a way to win without you. I know you want, like, he was able to make those hard decisions, and I feel like he's just going to do that going forward. And so, like, I think he's learned. He's learned from his mistakes in the past. So, yeah, a lot of us have seen that and been like, yeah, I like how he's managing. And if he keeps doing this in the playoffs, then I'm all for it.
Okay.
I mean, he's had enough time to learn, right? I mean, he's been here a while, so.
Yeah.
And he goes to the playoffs almost every year.
He was right after Mattingly, right? There was no, like, interim between Mattingly and him. He was the guy?
Yeah.
And that was 14, maybe 15?
I don't know. It's been a while, dude. I'm not sure. I mean, we should have looked this up, but we didn't because we're so.
Well, I didn't know that we were gonna get this.
We're so
this deep into it. Sorry, my phone dropped. I'll Google. I'll do the research. I'm the benches cleared research team. So let's start this. But yeah, I don't know. Dave Roberts.
So what? You're happy you get to go against Roberts for the foreseeable future?
I feel like he's not. I've never watched a baseball game and been like, shit, that's a really good move. I mean,
well, you didn't watch last year's World Series and be like, okay, those are good moves.
Yeah. I think he managed the bullpen very, very well. So he was hired November 2015. So 2016 was his first year as manager. So almost 10 years with Dave Roberts. I did think last year he did have a very good postseason. I think in 2020, I think the Dodgers won the World Series in spite of him. There was a lot of moves that were very questionable. And I think it was Jock Peterson saved his ass one time when he made made a couple of bad decisions in a game. And then he pinch hit with Jock, and Jock kind of saved the day, if I'm remembering correctly. So I don't ever remember being like, oh man, Dave Roberts is going to outmanage this game. So that doesn't really strike fear to me.
Yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. I just don't feel it.
That wasn't the case before, and there was a lot of blunders. And I think even in the 2020, like. He pulled Baez, and then he's like, you know what, you're gonna go back out there, or, I think he did well in keeping Urias out there, for whatever reason, because I think he was gonna go to Jansen, but he just stuck with him. But, yeah, I mean now it's different. I think he did outmanage Boone last series.
Yeah, he had a good postseason for sure.
I don't think he had to outmanage anybody in the Mets because they were just that much more talented. But in the Padres series, I think he did pretty well there, man, because they were pretty evenly matched. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I think he's grown as a manager for sure.
Yeah, and the way he had to manage the bullpen throughout the entire postseason, it was not really series to series. It was kind of like day to day, So
Yeah.
like, there was a couple times he could have lost it, and it would have been a huge, storyline. But he did have a good postseason. I guess that could save your entire career.
I mean, he won.
But
he gave us our parade, so
that's
he
true.
helped
That's
contribute to our
true.
parade. So of course, yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see when it actually happens. Maybe it's another 10 years with Dave Roberts. Who knows?
Supposedly it was at the 1 yard line, so it's time to bring in the tush push.
The what?
It's that time. The tush push. Oh, you don't watch football, so I
That's a
can't even
tush
make
push.
that joke with you.
What's a
You don't know
tush
the tush
push?
push? The Eagles, the tush push, they're always at the 1 yard line, and it's like a sneak, but they push the quarterback in, and so they call it the tush push.
They grab him by his butt?
I mean, if they have to push him by his butt, they push him by his butt.
Hey, yo. All right. I guess, yeah, football is a little more spicy than I thought. But yeah. Let's talk some Giants stuff. I think I'm so sick of hearing Dodger stuff.
Let's talk about some sad stuff, right?
Let's
talk about the other
give
side.
the people what they want to hear. So the Giants made their first cuts and sent people to minor league camp. Bryce Eldridge being the headliner and Marco
Justin
Luciano
Verlander
was
he in the group?
he was not in a group home.
Oh, he just made it, huh? He just made the cut. All right.
He just made the cut. Justin Verlander looks really good. So, I mean, I would be a little more worried than Justin Verlander than you're being right now. I'm just
Best
saying.
shape of his life kind of thing?
He's
Is
in
that
the
where
best
we're at?
shape of his life.
Best shape of his life kind of thing. Yeah.
The best shape of your life you can
Never
be for
felt
a
better.
42-year-old.
Boss coming out real good right now. All that stuff. Yeah.
He's gonna do the what was the pitcher's name in Rookie of the Year? Gary Busey. What was his name though? Do you remember?
I don't.
Oh gosh,
Tracy Gary.
I don't know, but that's him. He's just one more. He just wants one more season, and he's gonna have it. Whatever,
Yeah,
dude.
well-
Well, Bryce. I mean, I think I've called for them to do something with Bryce Eldridge. Just start him in the season at first base and see what happens. I was also taking them at their word, I guess, of what they've said. They came out and said his bat is major league ready. They said, this is, and he is, I still believe he's the guy, but I think it's obvious that he needs more time. It kind of is what it is. I mean, after the big home run in his first game, it just, I think he went like 0 for 4, one game with 4 strikeouts. So I just think he definitely needs more seasoning, which means why the hell did they sign a real first baseman this offseason? I don't know.
So what you're saying is he's a bust.
Total bust.
You're saying
Trash,
it
dude.
here and now. We can clip it. As he says, Eldridge.
No, Bryce Eldridge is gonna save us from mid. All right, he's the guy. Another, I guess, the big part of this is Marco Luciano got set down. He needs to learn left field better. I mean, he looks decent in left field, but he's still not hitting. He's got to figure it out. He's still 23. There's still a lot of talent there. Super prospect for a while. So,
Does that one? Which one was more surprising? Because obviously Eldridge was going to happen, right? Like it shouldn't surprise you, right?
no, the way he played, it's not surprising at all.
So neither would surprise you.
Exactly. Neither surprised me. I don't think there was any way that Marco Luciano ended unless Mike Yastrzemski and Luis Matos got hurt in spring training. That would be the only way. Because Luis Matos is hitting the cover off the ball. He's hitting 300, doubles, home runs. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at the point right now when we're checking in on battle. The Giants are doing this whole thing of, playing for spots. I don't know how much they're actually looking at spring training stats, if they're taking into account or exactly what the battle is for. But Luis Matos needs to be playing every day. I think Mike Yastrzemski needs to be the fourth outfielder. And I don't care if he's playing almost like in a rotation. You give Heliot Ramos a day off. You give Jung Hoo Lee a day off. Then you give Matos a day off. And then, Mike Yastrzemski takes like 2 days off. And then you keep rotating him that way. That's fine. But don't give me anything about Mike Yastrzemski is going to be every day in right field and then Luis Matos is going to be on the bench or at AAA. This is the season that you're talking about. You want to give the young guys a chance. Then give Luis Matos left field and shut the F up. Put Heliot Ramos in right field. Jung Hoo Lee in center. Good defensive outfield. There we go.
Which is kind of the opposite of the Dodgers, right? Because they got Conforto. And, it's kind of been a trickling effect ever since they traded Gavin Lux.
Right.
Because now there's question marks. I know Gavin Lux, he had a good end to the season, but they got Kim. And I guess, he's not going to be ready. It's pretty evident that he doesn't look major league ready. So he's going to have to go.
No.
He's going to have to be a AAA. But what that causes is the fact that now maybe Tommy Edman has to come into the infield, leaving Andy Pages in center. And it's so far in spring training, it's been a rough watching him defensively. He's misplaying some balls and then he's just jogging to pick up some balls. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen there. His bat definitely plays in the majors, but defensively, there's a lot to be.
Defensively, you got to put him in left or right field, and then in that's
his spot. He's a corner outfielder, but who are you going to put in center if Tommy Edman's not playing center? So that's the question, I guess. I mean, maybe he can fix it, maybe he gets better, but it just doesn't seem that way right now.
Yeah.
And then the other option, which is Outman, he's just lost. I mean, seems like he was a 1-year wonder, and now he's just lost at the plate, man.
Right.
So our center field options are pretty thin. It's Pages or Edman, and I don't know what Taylor, or Kike. It's a spot starting there. Like it's pretty thin there, but we'll see.
That's true. Yeah, I guess you could put Kike at second and leave Edman in center.
Yeah. So we need Pages to get better defensively fast.
Or you just need to tell Pages, hey.
If he was decent, I think he's decent, but if he was better than what he is right now, that's his job. Like, you're really our center fielder, you're not getting out of the lineup. He has to hit righties a little bit better, but I mean, it's just a defense, dude. Like, it's rough.
Maybe they platoon Conforto and Pages. I don't know. I mean, is Conforto a $17 million platoon player in left field? I don't know. It's pretty wild.
I mean, for the Dodgers, he sure is. I mean, he's definitely. He's the upgrade to Jason Hayward, but they just have to pay a little bit more to get an upgrade. So he's definitely that guy. I could see that happening if somebody else was playing second and Edman goes back to the center. But who knows? I don't know how that works out. We'll see. I mean, it's coming up soon because they're going to be in Tokyo pretty soon. So you're going to get a better picture of what they're going to go with.
Right. And, I mean, the Giants have a lot of battles going on. I mean, they obviously the fifth starter job that we've been talking about. Carl Harrison got rocked and his velo was down last outing. Listen, it's spring training. Maybe they're, he's putting the brake on a little bit and, trying to get something right. Very possible because nothing's come out about him being hurt.
That's a copium right there.
If Kyle Harrison, I mean, it's spring training. If Kyle Harrison is about throwing a young 91, guy. What's that?
But you're talking about a young guy fighting for a spot. He's not going to slow it down. You know what I mean?
Because the problem was last year they said that he ramped up too quick and he ended up injuring himself. So maybe they're saying, hey, this time let's work on your control. I don't care how hard you're throwing or whatever. It's possible because he was up there the first game he was up there in velocity where he wants to be at the 94, 95 range. But when you're down at 91 and your main weapon is your fastball and your fastball's nasty, you're down back at 91, you're getting rocked. So
I just remember Tyler Glass now having that conversation, and they're like, everybody thinks it's just like, oh, throw throw slower so you can, you can get strikes. Like it's, so you can control it better. It's like you can't just change that overnight. Like it doesn't happen. Like
Right.
you're always throwing hard and trying to, pinpoint or whatever. So I don't buy that. Like, oh, we're trying to slow him down just so he can get his location. It's pretty hard to do that. I don't know if that, so especially for a rookie too, that's just coming up. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's something. I think a lot of eyes are going to be on his next start. And if he's back up to 90, 94, 95, I think everyone forgets about last start. But if next start he comes out and he's throwing 91 again, 90,
then there's something more that
then he is not getting that fifth starting spot. He's going back down to AAA, and especially because Landon Roop is looking like a certified stud. I mean, if you look at his numbers last year, he had better numbers than any of the rookie starters, but he just got sent down because he had to build back up. They had him as a reliever for at the beginning of the year. Then they sent him back down to AAA to build him back up, to come back as a starter. The numbers were good, were better than Burnsong's and Harrison's, but he didn't have as much time. So I don't know. Hayden Burnsong looks good. So Kyle Harrison might be sending his way back to AAA. I think that's a legit situation or a legit scenario. I mean, the backup catcher Tom Murphy's hurt. It's probably going to be Sam Huff or Max Stassi, but Sam Huff is on the 40 man. So, I mean, Sam Huff is probably your guy. And then the last, I think, real competition is for that last. I think we're pretty much in agreement, or it's kind of like foreseen that Encarnacion he's just killing it in spring training, but it's kind of already been seen that he's going to be the third guy in for that first base DH spot, where it's going to be Wilmer, Wade, and Encarnacion for those two spots every day, I would imagine. So I'm not even going to include him, but in that bench role, there's Brett Wisely and there's Casey Schmidt. Brett Wisely I don't think is a huge, I don't know, player for like this team long term. I think he's the perfect kind of utility man. He's lefty. He can play shortstop. He can play outfield, second base. I think that Casey Schmidt should just go back down to AAA, play every single day, because it is very possible that Tyler Fitzgerald is not the same guy that he was last year. We don't know if Tyler Fitzgerald's an actual thing or not. He had a good rookie season and was up for a decent amount of time, but he wasn't up the whole year. So you obviously give Tyler Fitzgerald the keys, but I think Casey Schmidt's your solid backup plan for a second baseman, and the best way to keep him ready is giving him every day at bats back in AAA, and just let Brett Wisely be on the bench and figure his way out as a utility guy.
All right.
I know ball. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, sure.
Certified ball knower.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting closer. There was the first round of cuts already?
First round of cuts have happened.
No.
The Giants are finally televising games starting tomorrow.
So you can watch the first couple innings and then just turn it off, or what?
Well, it's easy for you to say. You guys have been televising spring training. You guys televise every spring training game.
Yep.
So this
Sorry,
is
man.
the Giants'
I guess the team
one.
just cares about us. It's different.
Yeah, it's. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on this thing again. Carson Ragsdale starting, the guy who apparently, maybe it was Carson Seymour. One of the Carsons eats like 3 pounds of meat a day. I heard on I think it was Giants Talk. They said that. That's wild.
Crazy.
I'm a meat cutter. I eat a lot of meat. 3 pounds of meat is insane.
Yeah, that's
like a pound steak is a guy. That would be 3 of them in one day.
How do you eat that in one day? Like, that's ridiculous.
That's 3 fat ass steaks a day. You would have to have that for breakfast. I mean, steak and eggs, and then lunch steak and veggies, dinner steak and veggies. I don't know.
Jesus, that's heavy, man.
That's fucking wild.
Yeah, that's too much for me. There's no way.
Yeah, well, what can you do? Dave, this has been great. Spring training is coming to an end. We're getting close. We're getting there. I mean, we're the 7th. We got 20 days until actual opening day. Got what is it? When is the Japanese series?
The 17th through 19th.
17th through 19th.
No,
so we're only.
No, it's not. It's some. I forgot what it was. I don't know the date, but yeah, we're coming up pretty close to it.
Oh, here we go. 18th and 19th.
18th and 19th. Yep.
So we are 11 days away from soft spring opening day. We're almost there, guys. We're last stretch. We've almost made it. We've almost done it.
And in the meantime, for us people in LA, we're watching Luka, man. Luka magic. I don't know if you watched the game last night, but that was crazy, dude. So I still can't believe he's a Laker. Every time we come on here, I always say that. Just watching him to be a guy that young, and you get him and is that young. Oh, man, it's just makes
There's gotta be. I don't know if I think we've talked about this. I don't know. For that to happen, the Mavericks GM has to lose their job. This is insanity.
It's been like a trickle effect. Also, like the domino effect that happened to them. AD gets hurt. Kyrie gets hurt. Like all these.
Who could have ever foreseen that Anthony Davis is going to get hurt
in his debut?
I mean, who
showed you both sides of his game in just that one game, and it's messed up because I loved AD when he was here, but it was amazing. He controlled the whole game, like defensively, offensively, he was just dominating. And then the second half or whatever it was, he gets hurt, and that's it. So like you saw what you could have, and you saw what it is, and it sucks. But then Kyrie gets
for
hurt.
A lot of that, Dallas.
Everything that's happened, they've had the shittiest NBA season so far. Those fans. Since the trade deadline, it's been awful. But if you're a Lakers fan, you don't have to worry about that because we're just riding high, man. 8 games in a row. Luka's getting all the stars to the crypto arena now. Staples Center, man. I don't know what we have to call it, crypto, but the Staples Center.
Right.
He had Leo. He had I forgot who else was there, but there was a bunch of people there, and it's crazy. Like,
imagine just getting I don't know who's the baseball version of Luka. Maybe Bobby Witt?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, if we're talking talent-wise, maybe. But the kind of pull that he has, the kind of how he attracts fans into that, I don't know if that's the right...
Tatis?
Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
If Tatis didn't have all the controversy around him, basically...
True. I mean, that he was he still is such an exciting player. Just can't stay healthy. But that little ding on his resume doesn't help either.
Yeah, I just imagine your team getting Tatis and just, that.
I mean, he was the face of baseball for a while. Exactly. So I mean, I guess that's a good comparison. Like if he hadn't done anything stupid and he could have stayed, maybe he still had injuries because maybe that's why they're trading. They traded Luka or whatever because they thought he couldn't stay in shape or whatever. So I guess that's probably a good comparison. Imagine getting Tatis in his prime for an aging player who can't stay healthy. That's pretty good, man. You'd be pretty happy too, I guess.
Yeah, unless for some reason Luka was like, listen, I need some more help. So what you're going to do is you're going to trade me to the Lakers for 2 years, and then I'm going to re-sign with you when I'm a free agent. That's the only thing I can think of.
That's your only hope, right? Like that's your hope. You'd be like, oh no, nothing good can happen for LA. So this is just a ploy. But the fact that he looked so sad when it happened, that's the craziest part to me too. Like you betrayed a guy.
He's like a scorned ex-girlfriend. Like all of a sudden he lost weight. He's like, and I think it was, the first couple games, it wasn't bad, but you could tell like LeBron and Luka were still trying to figure each other out. How to play with each other, and now it feels like they've really clicked and figured it out, and it's just
you could tell like he was a walking zombie, dude. Like he's like, I'm here, but I'm not really here yet. Like I can't believe I'm here, kind of thing. Like it was a shock. And now you see him start to be himself and play with the fans and play up to the fans with, everything that when he hits a shot or whatever. Like, it's crazy. He's gonna love it there. Like, he's a star. He's a mega star. So
Superstar.
Awesome. Superstar.
All right.
There's the future, man, even after LeBron's gone. Oh,
yeah,
before we go, because
okay,
we're both parents, right?
That's true.
And last night at halftime, I don't know if you saw this either, but Stephen A. Smith, who had a whole rant about how LeBron wasn't a good father because he led Bronny in the league and he's in the league because of him and he's struggling and, all this crap, whatever. So LeBron goes up to him and says, keep my kid's name out of your mouth or leave him out of it, whatever.
Right.
What side are you on that? I see a lot of people be like, well, that's weak. You had him and you brought him into the league. You brought him onto your team. He's playing. He should be criticized. Or are you on, LeBron's side, which I am, because as a father, if you're going to go after me, I have no problem with it. Right? Like, you can say whatever you want about me and I can take it. Like, even if I don't like it or whatever. But if you're going to go after my son to get to me, that's stupid. That I wouldn't allow. That I have a problem with.
I have zero problem with LeBron doing what he did. I have zero problem with Bronny being on the Lakers because he's constantly back in South Bay. Like they act like he's like in the starting five. He's getting like mop up minutes at the end, and he's a young guy who was decent in college. Like, this isn't like the only time this has happened in the NBA. Like, this is the most publicized because of who he is, but this happens all the time. Like, this is a two-way player. His son's a two-way player. He gets to play with his dad. He gets mop-up minutes on blowouts. Like,
there was one game where he came in during the game, and it was the Philadelphia game, and they lost that game. And so that was the main point. Like, why is he in there when the game still matters, kind of thing? And I'm like, who cares? Who cares? Like, it hasn't affected the rest of the season or whatever, but like, it's just because it's LeBron's son. And it's shitty for the kid too, because he's obviously not ready. I understand that. Like, and he had the whole heart thing and everything. I get that.
Right. But that's why he's in South Bay all the time.
It wasn't like he was a bad player pre that, before that. After that, he hasn't looked the same. But in the G League, he's killing it. Obviously, it's not the same competition, but there's something there. There's some sort of talent there.
Exactly.
I mean, like, he's not just being off with the G League. If he was off with the G League, then you're like, all right, man, he sucks here too. Then there's something wrong. Then now I see it. But like, he's a second round pick. Like, whose opportunity did he take that you're so mad about?
Right.
Name the guy. Tell me, because I'm pretty sure you can pick him up. He's a free agent because nobody picked him in the second round. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you can tell me the guy that we missed out on and we ruined his chances at a career, but you can't. It's just, I think it's ridiculous. So, as a dad, I stand with LeBron.
No, I think nowadays, sometimes people get in this thing of, I just said it on the internet, or, they have, it doesn't count if you just say it on the internet, or, you say it on a podcast, or you say it on, like, no, you're saying these words. Like, so if you're going to come after LeBron for being a dad and then you get checked, that's what's going to happen. Like, I don't understand what the clutching of the pearls. You want to talk a big game, and that's part of his thing. Stephen A, he talks a big game, and that's why he's so popular, and that's why he's like paid the way he is. I get it, cool, but at the same time, you're probably going to get checked sometimes too. I know that there's multiple stories where Kobe checked him. You know what I mean? There's like, I don't know, dude. Like, stop with the acting. Like, you could say whatever you want and there's no consequences. Like, it's not like he like LeBron punched him. He just talked shit to him back.
And he himself said that since he came out and said stuff about Bronny, other players have not talked to him. Like Draymond Green and some other players supposedly have stopped talking to him. So I don't know. I feel like he probably regrets it. He won't say it, but he probably regrets going after Bronny for no reason, dude. Like, it was just a headline, just to give him views for that day. And I'm sure he regrets it now because it probably wasn't worth it.
Yeah. Well, on that note, Dave, it's been fun. It's been great. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make sure to hit the notification bells when we go live. Make sure to follow us on your socials. Instagram, Benches Cleared Podcast. Twitter, Benches Cleared P. And TikTok, Benches Cleared Dave. What do you got for him?
Nah, thank you for hanging out. It was awesome. It was fun. And we'll do it again soon.
Next week, we'll be here. You make sure you're here too. We'll see you then.
See ya.